Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu wasallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam amma ba'd. Habibti fillah. The question was asked, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ya Ustadana, Hayyakallah. My question is in relation to, and I say wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Allah yahyik. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with ilm al-nafi, rizqan tayyib wa amalan mutaqabbilan, and forgive us all of our many sins and protect us from kufr, shirk, nifaq, and zandaqa. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana a'lamu astaghfiruka liman a'lamu. So my question is in relation to reading habits. A lot of students compile many books throughout their lives, and many do not read them. What is the most efficient way to have personally, you have personally advised or have been advised in reading books, specifically books on explanations of ahadith and books on aqidah? There are some scholars such as Sheikh Ashitri. It has been documented that he would spend up to 16 hours in his mektaba. And we all know the tremendous story of Sheikh Al-Albani on the latter reading. Please advise via video. Barakallah feek wa feekum barakallah. First of all, unfortunately, most of us don't have that luxury of the time, especially when you have families and when you have other responsibilities. And I know especially those living in the West or any place, even in the Muslim lands, I know many people who work their legs off, so to speak. They work and they are not blessed with time. They come to Saudi Arabia, they come to other countries, and they don't have the ni'mah of time and free time. So this can be anywhere. As far as reading habits, then the best advice is going and following the examples of those ulama, especially those mountains of knowledge like Sheikh Ashitri and Imam Al-Albani and many others. And there's so much documented stories about many of our mashayikh and imma, and then the Salaf as well, and the great scholars of Islam throughout history and how they spent their time. So the information is there. So it's on you to research. As far as collecting books and not reading them, I think what happens, and for a lot of students of knowledge, it's essential, as some of the scholars mention, it's essential to have a mektaba. And I realize the importance, and I'm that kind of person, and Allah has favored me to be in a position, at least at this stage of my life, where I can buy books whenever I want. Actually, my life in Saudi Arabia, anytime I've never had to refuse myself a book, whether it was big or large, and that is a ni'mah from the ni'amillah. So I personally am a book collector, and not just to sit and collect dust, although unfortunately there are books that I have that collect dust that I don't get to, but I hope in the future to be able to have my time where I'm in a community just teaching and doing positive things, and where I can spend time researching my books. And this is what I'm trying to gear myself up for. And so that, for one, those students and those imams that are favored with that time, then that's a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is favored with them, and may Allah bless them in that. So as far as reading habits, the bottom line is read as much as you can. And what I found as I get older and as my studies, I'm not studying with the mashayikh anymore as far as sitting in durus, because of my life and my lifestyle and maybe perhaps where I live, and also doing all the things that I'm busy with. But I'm still doing talib al-ilm because I'm working on my PhD, and that's research. So research is very different than what you're usually doing in the beginning of your stages of seeking knowledge, because when you research, you maybe pick a topic or a mas'ala or just an issue, and you go deep into it. So then once I did my master's, it gave me the opportunity to really get into my books. That's where I really got familiar with books and familiar with my own books, and it's progressive. Now my Arabic and my thing, although my nahu is worse because I'm not studying, but as far as my general reading and understanding, it's much higher. And I can go to many books, and I can just, I'm more familiar with books, so you can go. So what you find is a lot of times you're looking around and you're just grabbing and just reading, and you're researching about topics. So my going back to the main point, is read, read, read. Just read. Just pick up and read. And read the Quran. And read what you can from the Sunnah. And I've spoken about this in the past. You mentioned about Aqidah books and Shuruhat of Hadith, explanations of Hadith. And those are exactly the kind of books that I love. Those are the kind of books that I buy. So whenever I can find a Sharh of a Hadith, mostly, some Shuruhat I don't get, but I buy a lot. So I have a lot of explanations of Bukhari and a lot of explanations, or several of Muslim, and several of, and of course the small books, Arba'in an-Nawawi and Riyadh al-Salihin, and many books in fiqh and hadith. I like those kind of books because those are books that will be relevant for me going back to America and teaching bi'idhnillah ta'ala. And of course Aqidah books. And if you want to say those minhaji books, meaning books, some books of reputation and stuff like this, because that is just what I like. I enjoy, I guess it's the tarbiyah that some of us that we had, and I'm not saying that it's necessarily good, nor am I saying it's bad, but to get deep into just reputations, no, this is not what Islam is about. Islam is about affirming Tawheed and those things, and implicit in that is refuting bid'ah and refuting kufr and shirk and those things. But to busy yourself, is what I'm saying, with only those kind of books, and then you don't know anything about hadith, you don't know anything about fiqh, and anything about the other sciences, is a big mistake and a problem that some of the people who have just started seeking knowledge, and then they go and they speak about everyone and everything, and wallahu musta'an. So it's again, going back to the ulama, seeing what they do, and again, like I said, when you do research, you get a chance to really go into issues, and you really get a chance to use your books and keep them from collecting dust. And a final thing is sometimes you're just in the mood, you're thinking about an issue, and especially with people asking questions, a lot of times then I have to do research. Either I have to do research, or I have to call one of the mashayikh if it's something that I can't answer, or I don't have time to do research, or it's something I would rather stay away from and let the sheikh speak. So those kind of things, they also force me to do research. So then I might pick up a book, or you just might be in the mood. You want to read something. You want to read, like for example, my sheikh, one of the sheikhs that I love and respect and benefit from was Sheikh Ibrahim Ruhaili. And I know enough people have refuted him. So I purchase everything I could find in the market. And I've downloaded so many things of people who are at least somewhat respectable and ulama that I respect, to see what their sayings were, see what they were saying. And I read what Sheikh Ibrahim said. And then I made my decision based on what I felt was the haqq. And so those kind of things, sometimes you just feel like picking up a book that, you know, is a refutation or whatever, any subject.